1st of March on a beautiful autumn day, and we're heading off for a walk. Well, continuing this vlog, had to go home and swap to my old photographic backpack. The sling I use, or I have been using, has been giving me a bit of a problem with my back. So you get better support with the backpack having straps both sides. Well, since the last vlog, I actually have been to New Zealand for 3 weeks. Just arrived back a couple of days ago, and we left. It was very hot weather, and we've come back and it's nice autumn weather. In New Zealand, we stayed in Airbnbs, and one of them, basically nearly the whole time we were there was a festival on, or a rock concert on in Christchurch. It was featuring Split Ends, who haven't done anything for like 25 years, and it was hard to get accommodation, so we had to spend I think one night in Beeley Avenue in a hotel, travel lodge type thing. Bloody noisy on Beeley Avenue, and then we had to go to another Airbnb for 2 nights, and then finally to the Airbnb that we had for the majority of the time. Now, we also had to go to the Gateway motor inn, so we could get the early morning flight. Basically up at 2:30 and on the bus by 3. It was a long day. We're in Christchurch staying at an Airbnb, and I think it's the suburb of Linwood. We're walking through the Beeley Gardens on the way to follow the river around for a bit of a walk. The weather hasn't been very good. This is the first sunny day without rain or showers. There's the river over there. Tennis courts through the trees. Oh, we're walking down Kilmore Street heading into town. We've left the river, which takes a big loop out that way. So we're basically walking in for a sandwich and a coffee. This is Firefighters Park, and the steel over there is from the World Trade Centre, and there's another piece just there. So this is why it's called Firefighters Park, in memory of the firefighters who lost their life. Right, we're in Madras Street, and this is some sort of a monument to faith, peace, charity and hope. This is the Margaret Mayhew family playground. Margaret Mayhew was a famous child's author, wrote children's books, and she died in 2012. Just a quick look at the playground. And the little park that surrounds it. Well, we're in Christchurch Square. That's the cathedral. Not much has happened. That brick and white building over there is actually just a facade. There's the ibis. Some sort of tourist boat. Coffee in New Regent Street. Tram in New Regent Street. Canada geese on the Avon. Canada geese going under bridge. Queen Victoria. An old phone box. Well, this backpack is definitely better on the back. We basically stayed in Christchurch, didn't travel very far, just catching up with relations. However, we did spend 3 days with my nephew in Rakaya, who has a wee farm. Had a good look around with him, and also saw the Blake driving the Windrow tractor on a paddock of clover seed. I had a bit of a ride with him, which was good to see the thing in action. I'll put some footage up of that. Well, here we are out with Blake, who is windrowing a paddock of clover seed. On the left you can see the windrows he's done, and the head is cutting and taking it into the middle and leaving that windrow behind. Here we are in the cab watching the operation of the header. There's a screw from the left and from the right that brings it into the middle to make the windrow. It had a lot of rain when we were away, but before we left everything was basically burnt off and brown, and now it's quite green and lush. There's the dam, retention dam. So we've got good weather at the moment. I really like autumn weather. It's a lot stabler normally, although up north got a big cyclone going through at the moment. And it was a category 5 at one stage, which is pretty big. Right, this is the view of the pond from the other side. There's Midland Highway up there from where I normally film. Got some ducks swimming out there. Nothing much has changed here at phase 3 of the subdivision. Still this long weed. However, this first block just here has been cleared or mown, so makes you wonder whether they'll be building here soon. Since I've opened up Tobin Court, it's quite nice to be able to walk right around here away from the Midland Highway. It's very noisy and busy on the Midland Highway, particularly at weekends. Right, what we'll do, we'll head up this alleyway to the Midland Highway and have a look at the petrol prices. Well, I see this is under offer. This was this block that was the flood retention dam. Right, this is the other retention dam. I wonder how much water this had in it when it rained. Move up here. It's got quite a lot of grass growing. I think they must have seeded it to stabilise the bank. Apparently the caravan's not opening again. There's the petrol prices. Well, it's quite warm. It's nearly 12 o'clock. The weather in Epsom is 24 at the moment. We're expecting a high of 27. So it is quite warm. No wind. But we'll head through the alleyway over there and out onto Station Street. Looks like they're taking these two panels out so they can drop it down, so people coming out can see the road. There's the panels down there. Initially I thought they'd been nicked, but I'd say that's what it's for. This beautiful garden has lots of colour. Right, we're back out on Station Street. We'll head home for lunch. And what we're having is a packet of rice risotto from New Zealand. We used to have it a reasonable amount in New Zealand, and it was very good. So we'll see what it's like now, if it's still the same, or whether our taste buds have altered. So we'll make this do for now. This is the rice risotto from New Zealand. Our taste buds hadn't changed, and it just tasted as good as it did before. We added extra chicken and the vegetables.